What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 74 of Snakes and the Fatman. Let's get right into it this week with some Herp Show announcements. Alright, Sean and the gang powering through 2022. They're gonna be in Slidell, Louisiana on April 2nd and 3rd. That's this coming weekend. They're gonna be in Beaumont, Texas on April 9th and 10th. They're gonna be in Temple, Texas on April 16th and 17th. Fucking down in Austin, April 23rd and 24th. They're going to be back in Louisiana in Lafayette, June 4th and 5th. Doing the Conroe thing again, June 11th and 12th. I'm definitely going to try and be there for that. Then they're going to be in Longview, Texas on June 25th and 26th. In Slidell, Louisiana on July 23rd and 24th. And they're heading out to Oklahoma on July 30th and July 31st. If you guys got any other questions about attending a Herp show, contact Sean or Lori. I mean, Lori's a little busy with her new Tipsy Trinket place. But definitely just email them if you need to, and they will get right back to you. Just go to a fucking Herp show, man. I mean, I've been telling you for like 3 years now. You gotta go to at least one Herp show. It's run like no other fucking reptile show that you've ever seen. Again, check out herpshow.net. How fucking thrilled am I to have Focus Cubed Habitats joining the Snakes and the Fatman family. They are literally the best display cages that I've ever owned. I was a fan of this husband and wife team of builders from when they were putting out these amazing pieces of fucking art from their garage. Stephen and Ashley have been keeping reptiles for years, and as experienced keepers, they understand how important your animals are in your life. Focus Cubed Habitats provide security and comfort for your animals while maintaining these insane, badass designs that everyone can appreciate. They give you the opportunity to make their home part of your home. You want options? They've got options. Every Focus Cubed habitat is custom made to your specs, and you could choose from hundreds of options on their website. Too many options? Ashley and Steven have a huge selection of blog-style articles and complete accessory fact pages on their website to help educate consumers about add-ons that will best fit their individual needs. Listen, at the end of the day, these fucking cages are showpieces. Every cage that Focus builds will be the centerpiece of your reptile room. Hell, they could be the centerpiece of your fucking living room. If you have reptiles that you want to display, look no further than Focus Cubed Habitats. You can follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and even fucking TikTok. Or just go old school and go right to FocusCubedHabitats.com and tell them that the Fat Man told you to drop them a line. Alright, so we're doing a lot of shit here over the next few months. I'm actually really excited for May because we're continuing the No More Balls tour, and we're gonna be hitting up Brittany Gobble's place, Shane Kelly's place, Ozzy's place, Justin's place. Very fucking exciting. Then hopefully in June, I'll be heading out to the Herps Conroe show down in Texas. And then hopefully in September or October, I don't know. I'll be going back down to Texas for Arlington. I'm probably not going to go to Tinley. I just can't, like Tinley's too much. It's just like, come on, man. Like, come on. All right? I can't do it. So also I want to thank Maria Matacola, who is going out of her way to help me out setting up my first bioactive enclosure here at the old Fat Cave and putting up with my constant dumb questions about the whole setup. I used to be very anti-bioactive cages, right? I mean, I just thought this is a cage set up for lazy people who don't want to clean up their shit. But more than that, I didn't want to become one of the bug people, okay? Like previously, all my interactions with these fucking bug people just proved to me that they were total white trash, mostly shady Northeast fucking breeders who charge you an arm and a leg for shit that you used to find underneath a rock when you were growing up. Even now, when I'm learning more about this whole bioactive setup, I'm not going to be one of those guys that goes out and spends $100 on fucking 10 designer isopods. That's what they're asking on MorphMarket. $100. 10 fucking bugs that eat shit. The fuck out of here. These fucking bug people are even more out of their minds than the ball python people. And the majority of these fucking bug people look like, you know, when you're going to get gas, right, and you're trying to fill up your tank and just fucking ignoring the world, and some fucking meth addict walks up to you that looks like he's been living behind the gas station for the last 5 or 6 years, and he starts talking to you about every fucking calamity from the Bible has hit his fucking family and his life, and could you just give him $2? Yeah, that's how most of these bug people look. Maria does not look like that. Plus, she's cute as fuck when she starts yelling at me about not owning even the most basic tool like a fucking drill. So if you need any kind of bugs or king snakes or rat snakes or dead shit stuffed in a jar like the governor used to have on The Walking Dead, fucking visit Endbringer Exotics. Maria is a fucking rock star. There's really not a lot of Marias in this world. So get your shit-eating bugs from her. Anyway, the first cage should be done in a few weeks, so I'll put up a bunch of pictures on Instagram like a fucking hipster doofus. You know where there's a ton of other hipster doofi? The market of morphs. In March, MorphMarket launched the Herp event calendar to provide a centralized list for industry events such as expos, as well as USARK advocacy Zoom meetings, Herp Society meetings, and more. All right? I told John, I was like, listen, there got to be some more. And just like that, John added more. MorphMarket's event system just debuted at Tinley Park, NARBC. Hundreds of attendees around the venue used their interactive vendor list and map to find exactly who and what they were looking for. Other events which were covered so far include 4 Show Me Reptiles and Exotics Expos, a USARK hearing in Connecticut to oppose a Traveling Animal Act ban, a fundraising auction in the MorphMarket forums in aid of Geckaholic, who lost everything in a fire earlier this month. Listen, there better be some fucking herp shows on this fucking thing, all right? Not saying when, but eventually, all right? Just saying, like, John, I don't ask you for much, man, but I ask, well, we got to get herp shows on it. They have many more features planned. If you are interested in having your events on MorphMarket, please email events@morphmarket.com. In other news, breeders can now track their offspring clutches and litters. It just says more to come on that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. More to come on that. All right. We'll let you know about that eventually. Morphpedia, the new herb knowledge base, has reached 500 published articles covering 21 different reptile categories. Listen, if you're not a member, get over to MorphMarket.com now because you're fucking losing out on all of this shit. That's all I'm saying. MorphMarket.com. Become a member today. Okay, so a general rule of thumb here at the old Fat Cave is that if you contact me and ask to be on 15 Minutes of Lame, I tell you to go fuck yourself. That just reeks of desperation. I have to either have heard from you from other people or seen something that you're doing on Facebook or Instagram that was interesting, and then I'll contact you. Oh, and if you contact me to be on 15 Minutes and you've never been to a Zoom call or met me in person or bought a shirt, then you could definitely go fuck yourself, all right? So that was my immediate response when this 17-year-old child contacted me and asked to be on 15 Minutes of Lame. He sent me a DM on Instagram where all the other children hang out and asked to be on the show. I wanted to tell him to go fuck himself, but even I know that you can't, as an adult, tell a child to go fuck himself. So what I did end up telling him was just, listen, you're under 18. You can't be on the fucking show. Call me back when you're 18. Thinking that I'll never hear from him again. Well, the kid turned 18 and contacted me like a fucking day after his birthday. And I just started thinking, man, this kid is definitely persistent and he got a little balls. But I was still kind of rolling my eyes at him and just thinking, what the fuck? So let me go to his page. So I went to his Instagram page, and surprisingly, he had a lot of nice shit there. Plus, he's been breeding since like 2016, which is a lot more than a lot of these other fucks that I had on 15 Minutes of Lame. So obviously this kid convinced mommy and daddy to dump a lot of their money into his dumbass hobby. So I was curious if this was another situation like that fucking other little dumbass a few years ago whose father put $1 million into his kid's fucking hobby, and then like 3 years later the kid fucking was like, oh, I can't be in the ball python business, there's too much drama, I'm just gonna give it up and waste my dad's money. So I was curious if it was something like that. So I just figured, what does it hurt to give this kid a shot? Here's my 15 minutes with Zane Wagner. Fucking Zane. I'm gonna talk about a hipster doofus fucking name, Zane. Zane in the membrane. Anyway, here's my 15 minutes with Zane Wagner of ZDC Reptiles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Fatman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
Hey guys, it's Justin at Canova. So in the past few years, Canova's become the top source for amazing ball pythons. Now Chris tells me, Justin, it's time to give back. So we're sponsoring the 15 Minutes of Lame to support the new and upcoming breeders. So jump in here. Let's hear your ideas. Let's hear your thoughts. Maybe you can turn your 15 minutes of lame into 20 years of lame, just like I did. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. So bring it.
15 Minutes of Lame!
What's going on, everybody? I brought a child on because he actually had the balls to just ask to be on 15 Minutes of Lame. I mean, this is fucking Zane Wagner. He got the biggest balls in fucking Maryland. What's up, Zane? How you doing, man?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Listen, you're the youngest person ever to come on this fucking thing, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna hold back. I'm just letting you know. Okay.
Go for it.
All right. So you know how this works, right? So fucking, we're gonna
Mhm.
put 15 minutes on the clock, and that's starting now. So right off the bat, what does the name stand for?
Okay, so I knew you were gonna come after me on this one because again, it's a stupid name, but I made it when I was like 12, so that's how it is. But it stands for Zane, Dwayne, and Chloe because I originally was like starting it with my family, but it kind of just became my thing over
All right.
time.
First of all, let's calm it down right there. Is Dwayne and Chloe your parents?
So Chloe's my sister and Dwayne is my dad.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, and now it's mainly just you.
yeah, it's all me now.
All right. It's an unoriginal name though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna give you like a
I'm
3 on
aware.
it.
Yeah,
But the fact that you did it when you were 12, it's like, you kind of get away with a little bit there.
oh
So it's
yeah,
like, yeah, so I'll bump it up to a 5.
thank you.
Now, second of all, how great a bullshitter are you that you convinced your dad to dump money into this, because you don't have stuff that I would figure an 18-year-old kid would have. You have some cool shit.
Yeah,
So,
so when I was little, like I would save up all my money for snakes. That would be the thing. And my dad, he would always like birthday gifts would be snakes like once a year, like with Christmas too. So like it was never like too much like in terms of what he would give me, but like it was probably more than average, I would say. Like he would get me like a $400 or $500 snake once a year,
okay.
which is like how I basically started. But this is my 6th year breeding. So like I've been just putting it back in and that's like how I have the stuff that I have now.
Right. But in all fairness, you can put it all back in when you're
Yeah.
not paying rent or anything and you're living
Oh
at
yeah.
home. Yeah. Okay.
I'm well
So
aware.
once you get out into the real world, it's going to be, it's going to have to be a little bit different. Now, you're in Maryland, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So people have the option to buy from Ozzy, Ralph Davis. Why would they buy from this 18-year-old kid who's been, granted, you're doing it for 6 years, which is more than a lot of fucking people that came on 15 minutes have been doing it.
Yeah.
So why should they go to you?
Okay, so I guess to support the younger guy, like I'm different and the stuff that I make not everybody has. And it's like how I see it is like if you make decent stuff and you just put it on MorphMarket and you have like good customer service, people will buy from you. Like I barely post on Instagram or anything and like I've sold 150 snakes, like basically just MorphMarket in those years, you know?
Okay. Well, that's,
So
yeah, well, you can't complain about that. Now, um, what would you say right now at 18, your most expensive snake that you own is?
So last year, I bred a pastel orange dream het puzzle to a leopard hypo het puzzle, and I made a pastel orange dream puzzle het hypo,
Oh, okay. Well, that's
which
not
is
so bad. That's,
probably worth a good amount. I'm not really sure, but it's worth a good amount.
well, and now, are you just doing this like a kid would, or are you actually kind of keeping track of what you're spending versus what you're making? And
Oh, yeah, I keep track.
oh, okay,
I look at
so
it as a business.
this was coming too. Like, how much money has your dad put into this versus how much have you gotten back?
Okay, so it's been over a long period of time, right? And so most of the money that's been put into it has been in the last 2 years or three, roughly, because that's when I started making some nice stuff.
Okay,
So I would say, like, and I took loans from my dad as well, some of which I've paid back and some I still owe. And I took loans from a friend too. So I'm at roughly 40,000 in, including reinvestment,
okay,
and like 60, 65 ish out.
really?
Hmm.
Okay, so you're in the red for 20 grand, but you
No, it's the other way around.
The other way around. Okay, so you're ahead 20 grand at 18.
roughly.
Are you just laughing at all these other ball python breeders that are like, I spent 80 grand and I made back $700
Well,
last year?
no, they like you just have to bide your time. Like literally everyone, I think if you just bide your time and like wait it out, like it'll work out.
Oh, is that what you think? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, no, I was gonna say you live in a nice house. I can't even believe that you have fucking hypo in your
yeah.
collection. Like how ghetto
Hypo's
white
cool.
trash is fucking hypo. Jesus Christ.
Come on.
Uh can't stand it. But um now what's your you've actually bought from some of the bigger guys too, right?
Yeah.
So you're putting in how many snakes do you have at the house?
Roughly 60 now,
Okay.
including babies from last year. I made 70 babies last year,
Hmm.
and I have probably like 10 of which that I'm keeping. So I have like around like 25-ish still left. So I have a few to sell still, and then the rest are breeders.
Now, have you ever? I mean, you've been doing this since 2016. You're 18. You've kind of lost the last 2 years because of COVID, right? So you couldn't be going out doing shows. Were you a show guy prior to this? Like, did you attempt to do shows or not even bother?
Never done a show.
Now, do you plan on doing shows?
I mean, I'd like to do Tinley or like some of the bigger ones like NARBC, but like
Mm.
the local ones, I don't really have an interest in, and I do fine like on MorphMarket, so and like Instagram, so it's not like
Well, and what's the big show that's fairly close to you, like a Repticon, and then probably the Battleview show is
yeah,
close to you, right?
the Battlefield one in Hamburg,
Battlefield.
they're both
Yeah.
like an hour and a half.
Oh, Hamburg is ghetto as fuck, man.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably be doing better not vending at all than to vend at Hamburg. You know, like that's just dog shit. And do you have Repticons by you?
Yeah, we have Repticon Baltimore. It's in Timonium, so it's like probably 20 minutes away from me.
Yeah, that's dog shit too. Okay.
It's
Obviously
like
now,
it's not as dirty, but there's not like the best selection. So it's
well,
not a
well,
terrible show.
also as like a spoiled little rich kid, you can't be going to Repticon and spending your money there. You know, like that's not cool, right? Fucking go to Tinley and spend your money. Go to Arlington and spend your money. Don't spend
Hmm.
your money at a fucking Repticon or a fucking Hamburg. Go fucking that's unbelievable. So let's quickly talk some sponsors, real shit, real quick, real. I'm
Yep.
just, I'm nervous talking to this fucking child because I'm afraid I'm going to say something.
Don't worry. You're good.
um, sea serpents. Do you use sea serpent racks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fucking that's
So I have 5 sea serpents rex and 2 incubators.
fucking nice. Okay. Well, Chris does not say fuck you to fucking Zane. Okay. Have you ever bought a snake from Justin?
Yep.
Justin does not say fuck you to Zane. What did you buy from Justin?
Pastel freeway pied.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. Do you have any focus cubed habitats in your house?
No.
The focus cubed says fuck you to Zane Wagner. Okay. Um, Reptichip. Do you use Reptichip?
So like Coco, like I use pretty much all of them. I use whatever I can get my hands on. So right now I have Pro Coco. So I guess fuck you to me. But I
Yeah,
do
that's
use RepuChip as well.
yeah.
So
JT doesn't say fuck you to really anybody, but he does say fuck you to Zane Wagner. Um, let's see who else. Have you ever went to a herp show?
nope.
Sean Gray says fuck you, dude. Boa affliction. Do you have any boas in the house?
Nope.
Kenny, big fuck you to fucking Zane. All right, and then I haven't even seen your logo yet, but have you used SD design?
No. So my logo is actually on my hat if you want to see it.
All right, let's see it.
Right. Oh shit. Is it can you see it good?
Yeah, you should go. Yeah, you should go to Blake. Yeah, all right. Fucking
Okay.
please, just but until you go to Blake, Blake says fuck you also. But you should just fucking write dad a check. You know, get dad to write a check to Blake and he'll give you the best logo for any
All this
18-year-old.
is me now. All this is me now. Like,
Oh,
he's
oh,
not
it's
in
not.
it at all anymore.
Yeah,
Like, he
but
just got me, like, my
you're still paying back loans from daddy, right?
yeah, but it's, like, 3,000.
Okay. So dad, how much did dad invest in total, do you think?
I think from I got my first snakes when I always wanted to breed, so I got my first snakes when I was, like, 7 years old, right?
Mm.
And, so most of them were, like, around, like, 4 or 500 bucks, but then when I told him that I wanted to breed, like, the whole time, so he said once I got eggs, he would give me, like, 1 expensive snake, right? And that was, like, $1,500, and then plus, like, loans and stuff. I would say it's around, like, probably, like, 8 to 10 over the span of 10 years.
Okay. So that's actually a lot lower than I thought. So you're not like that other kid a couple of years
Nah.
back that
My
his
dad's
dad
a
just said, "Give him
construction
a
worker.
million bucks." What's that?
My dad's a construction worker, and my mom's
Oh,
a teacher, so I'm not like
mm, okay. All right. What's the Zane 5-year plan? Because are you going to college?
nope.
Oh,
I'm gonna go into real estate. So,
gonna go. Okay.
I'm gonna
Well,
do real estate and snakes is my plan.
you should talk to Ozzy about doing the real estate shit.
Mhm.
All right. So real estate and snakes. That's gonna be the goal.
Yep.
Do you have a girlfriend?
No.
Yeah, of course you don't. You collect ball pythons. Fucking.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like a chick's like, oh Zane, I'm so wet for you. Show me your pastel highway. Okay,
Mhm.
fucking yeah. That's probably not gonna happen. Have you ever gotten laid?
Nope.
Not yet, huh? Late.
Nope.
Oh man, your phone is gonna blow up now because fucking these degenerate snake chicks are gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna take Zane's cherry. All right. So all right. And is your plan to be like Justin, or is your plan just to keep this as a hobby and not, just be like, listen, I'm not an idiot. I know that this is, you can't maintain this if you're not Justin. What's the plan?
So, I'm gonna be doing it for long term, I know that much. I think it's definitely, like it's entirely possible, like, next year, I can see it, like, being, like, a full-time job, but I don't think that's my plan. I think I would rather have it be on the side and do something else. But, like, I'm kinda thinking that over time, I may see that it's hard to get, like, that type of return out of anything else.
Mhm.
So,
Well,
yeah.
you have to start remembering too. Odds are your parents are going to throw you out within 5 years. Okay, like can't be having a 23-year-old man living in the fucking, living with you. So you're gonna have to get
Yeah.
a house. Or you're gonna have to get an apartment. You're gonna have to either get a place for the snakes or
Yeah.
keep a certain room. But I think that you can maintain a fairly decent sized income by just having a bedroom.
Oh,
Full
yeah.
of reptiles. An extra
I
bedroom.
I expect to get, like, around I got 12 clutches last year. I expect to be, like, a little more around there, so in between 12 and 15 this year. But all of my stuff is, like, super high quality, so I can make some solid money back.
Okay. And you're planning on using MorphMarket for the whole
Oh, yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Okay. No shows or I mean, really, it's probably pointless for you doing a show right now, and unless you were to do a bigger show, but then you got to dump a bunch of money into the show stuff and everything that goes with that. Um, you're actually doing way better than I thought you would be. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're actually hitting it way smarter.
Mhm.
So good for you. So fucking Zane, how can they contact you? How can people contact you?
Instagram, it's EDC Reptiles, MorphMarket, the same thing. So that's all I use. I don't really have anything else.
You don't have like a Facebook? Of course not. You're
No.
a child. You're fucking you
Yeah.
don't yeah. What year were you born? You're 18, right? So fucking
Oh, 4.
2004. Yeah,
Yep.
Facebook wasn't full swing in 2004, and I bet your dad has a Facebook though.
Nope.
Oh no. Okay. All right. All right. Well, and the nice thing is that you also just fucking your time's up and you hit the fucking 15 minutes without fucking bullshitting and fucking wasting my time. So I appreciate it, man. Dude, you're actually crushing it, man, and you're
Thank you.
I knew from the second I saw the pictures on your fucking Instagram, I was like, man, this kid is not rocking the pinstripes and the fucking the bullshit spiders and everything else. So you actually did pretty good, man. So I'm hoping that your phones blow up now. I'm hoping that fucking some of these fucking reptile fucking whores just come into your house, knock on the door, and be like, "Yo, Zane, I want to suck your dick," and fucking it'll happen. Okay, I mean, you just got to walk around Tinley and fucking I think that after this it'll happen. All right. So thank you so
Yep.
much for fucking
Thank you.
for hanging out with me, man. So I appreciate it. And we will talk to you in a couple of days.
Yep.
All right, brother. Take care.
Yep. Have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Fatman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
All right, I have a couple of questions for anyone trying to run a business in the reptile industry. Do you ever feel like you're held back by a dated or detailed image? Are you sick of competing on price or convincing people to buy your fucking animals? Are you ready for a change but not sure where to start? Stewart Design guides ambitious companies to discover and share their meaningful difference and empowers them to reach their greatest potential. If you've been listening to me for a while, you probably know my man Blake Stewart at Stewart Design. If not, I'm certain you've seen the waves they're making within the industry. They've worked with the biggest and baddest players in the game. Stewart Design rebranded ball python extraordinaire Justin Kabilka over at Canova. They also created the brands for Amos Reptiles, my boy Zach Nava, Garrett Hartle with Reach Out Reptiles, as well as many, many more. Not to mention the rebranding and all the work that Blake has donated to USARK just because of his love for the industry. Stewart Design helps take that dumpster fire shit of a logo you drew in Microsoft Word to a whole new level. Get your big boy pants on because this isn't a game. There are literally thousands of breeders and more coming out every day. So how the fuck will you stand out at Tinley or on MorphMarket or at Daytona? Why should anyone buy anything from you when there are literally thousands of other dickheads out there selling the same stuff? If you want to run a real business and not some part-time fucking hobby, you have to stand out and look the goddamn part. If you give a shit about your business and want other people to give a shit about it, get a hold of Blake Stewart over at Stewart Design. Stewart Design is a professional branding agency. Just check out their website to see the list of major national and international awards that they've won. And besides creating kick-ass logos, Stewart Design also designs and prints everything you need to crush your next show, so you don't look like another fucking reject. Business cards, stickers, flyers, table covers, banners, you name it, they got it. Visit sdidentity.com or email info@sdidentity.com to learn more. That's info@sdidentity.com to get started. Bill Stegall is one of these Texas legends that downplays himself and acts like he's not doing these major game-changing things. He's one of these guys that no one says anything bad about, at least that I've heard. Really, what do I know? I'm out of the fucking loop. Nobody tells me shit. But anyway, I like this guy and I respect the shit out of him. He does amazing work with green trees, and we're gonna limit the ball python fucking loser talk as much as possible. Here's my one-on-one with Bill Stegall of Phoenix Reptiles. All right, everybody. I have Bill Stegall from Phoenix Reptiles. What's up, brother?
Just glad to be here, boss. How does it feel to have somebody in across from you that's actually fucking older than you?
Oh man, yeah, that's fantastic. The problem with that is that you look 10 years younger than me. So it's like so I can't win either way, you know. I
If
need
you
an
could,
old, decrepit, crippled guy, and then I'll
if you
be like, all right, you know,
if you could feel how my body feels right now,
yeah.
you wouldn't think that because I'm feeling the old decrepit man right now.
Dude, I know that feeling. Every morning I sit at the edge of my bed for like 20 minutes just thinking about what's going to be the first thing that cracks when my feet hit the floor. And it's different every day. Like some days it's my knee, some day it's my shoulder, some day it's like an
Your back,
eyebrow. Yeah, it's just the worst, man. Uh,
you're preaching to it.
but are you you're strictly a ball python green tree guy, right?
I do a few other things.
Okay.
So I do Borneo short-tail pythons, which are the blood python family.
Right.
I had 4 clutches of those last year. That was my first year to breed those. So technically, yeah, I do those. I do carpet pythons. Um, before I transitioned over and became more involved in green trees, I did a lot of carpet python clutches every year.
Okay.
Kind of after ball pythons, carpet pythons were the second species that I kind of, became interested in and worked with those for a long, long time. But now I'm down to 2 females and a male. And so I'll have one clutch. I'll have one clutch of carpet pythons this year.
Gotcha. Okay. And what did you do before this snake bullshit?
Well, I was a physician. I practiced anesthesiology for
Oh,
24 years before I retired 3 years ago.
oh, you're a fucking fancy boy, huh? Okay.
I think
All
I might be
right.
I think I might be the second doctor on your
Y-
show. After
No, you're the third,
I know Dr. Booth.
right? Well, and Travis Wyman.
Travis Wyman. That's
All
right.
right, so you're the third. Why didn't I know you were a doctor? So you didn't even need this snake shit. You were like, I'm going to do this because it's fun.
Well, I did it because it was fun. I mean, absolutely. It was, a great way for me to just kind of step away from all of that, serious nonsense. And it's definitely for, 2 decades where I got my relaxation going out in the snake room, working with the animals, putting my headphones on and just trying to forget about the rest of the world.
How long have you been just doing the snakes?
This is my 3rd year.
30 year. Okay.
3rd year.
And are you married? Do you got a family?
Yeah, been married 34 freaking years, if you can believe it.
That is horrible. Yeah. That's such a long time to be with one person.
Well, not only that, but we've been together since I was 15 years old.
Oh,
So junior high sweethearts. So yes, I've been with my wife, 75% of my life.
yeah. So you don't even know what it's like to not have a woman around saying, well, I wouldn't have done that if I were you. Like,
Believe me, I know exactly what that's like. I would have done that if I were you. But yeah,
oh man.
she's awesome. Has put up with me for a long time. Got 2 great older kids. My son's is going to turn 30 in a week. So yeah, just got older kids, and now I just kind of retired. When I retired, I moved and set up my facility here, and it just been really living the dream for the last few years.
Well, that's actually great because that's what everybody wants to do. But the problem now is that they want to do it at 22. Okay.
Yeah. I've seen. Listen, I'm not blind to what a lot of people come on even onto your shows and other people's shows, and you say it all the time. How did you get $100,000? You got your grandma to give you her
Sign off
retirement
her house.
money.
Yeah.
You give her retirement money, and now you're going to be world's first ball python
Powerhouse. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do it that way, and I know people have, and I know you can, but I certainly didn't do it that way.
Well, now, So how long have you been doing snakes? Like, what was your first snake? Were you one of those kids that grew up and you'd go out into the backyard and find a snake or find a lizard and keep it, or
Well, some yes, but see, my parents would never let me keep any reptiles in the house. They were godly
right?
afraid of anything that didn't, have a, you know, couldn't call kitty or doggy. I mean, so they wouldn't let me. So when my son was in fifth grade, he had a ball python in his science classroom and wanted to get a snake, and so that kind of got me reintroduced. I said, "Hell yeah, we're getting a snake." And 2 years later, I bought a $1,500 pastel male baby, and we were breeding snakes.
Ah, gross. Yeah, 15. I remember it. I mean, when we started it, I remember seeing pastels and bumblebees on Nerd's website, and they were like $40,000, $50,000, and I'm like, no way. Am I even getting into this shit? And we used to have a bunch of different reptiles, back in the early 2000s, and they were all pets. Like we didn't even consider breeding. And when they did breed, we were like, shit, what are we gonna do with all these fucking Burmese pythons that we have here here now?
Yeah, that nobody would want, right?
That nobody would want. Yeah. So yeah, that was just a pain in the ass. But so you said your son is 30, right? So you've been
Yeah,
doing this at least 20 years, just keeping animals.
yeah, 20, yeah, right about 20 years.
Okay. And what do you think is about what's going on with all the U.S. ARC bullshit now? Because I know Texas doesn't give a fuck, um, about what people think about about them. As far as like nobody's taking anybody from Texas animals away, but this bill that's being introduced isn't really about taking the animals away, right? It's about not being able to move the animals.
It's about more than that. It's about the Secretary of the Interior and Fish and Wildlife having the ability to emergently declare any animal that they deem as injurious, and there's no due process to that decision. So it's much more than just a transfer. It's a big control issue. They're now talking about white lists instead of blacklisted
Right.
species, and that is brutal. And I put it on. I put a couple social media posts out that I think this is the most devastating legislation that I've been aware of in the 20 years that I've been working with the animals. So I hope
So
everybody's written their letters, man.
well, that's whatever we want everybody to do is everybody go and I mean, U.S. ARC makes it so simple, really,
They do. It's
to
cut and
find the
paste.
state senators and copy and paste a message. That's all you got to do. It's like 5 fucking minutes, man. Just go out and do it. Um, but it's the problem with the whitelisting is they're not gonna list every tarantula that you could keep. They're not gonna
No,
list every, snake that you could keep. So I really see what the issue is. I don't really agree that there's a lot of people online basically bullying people into this joining USARC thing. And look, I'm a member of USARC. I support USARC. I don't have one animal here. I'm not selling one animal. So um and everybody should be a member of it. The problem I think that you get into is you're already talking to the majority of people that are members, right? So you're really just preaching to the choir, right? You
yeah.
really have to go outside of this hobby and get those people to join up
Well, that's what
because
this bill's doing, Chris.
mm,
I mean, this affects the fish people,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
It affects the reptile people. It affects the bird people.
right,
So listen, and the reptile community and USRK, they have tremendous presence. But you add those two on top of it, and I mean, that's a big body of influential organization and people, I think.
oh yeah, yeah, no, I absolutely, I do agree with that. I do think that there are certain people that are bullying other people into joining USARK. Okay, I definitely
You've
see
seen
that.
that? You've seen it
Yeah, yeah.
online?
I mean, and they're just, and you look like a dick when you're doing something like that. You're like, I don't think you're really helping
Yeah.
if if you're saying, join USARK or else. I think you'll get a lot more people if you just talk to them like they're fucking humans,
Well, I
and
mean,
you get them to get them to actually do something.
educate and not preach, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
fuck, we're in Texas. Nobody down here wants to be preached to, right?
Yeah, well, that's definitely true. But I don't really see it happening in Texas. That's the whole thing. It's
Uh,
like everybody that I know in Texas is a member of USARK already. Okay,
I
so
got
what good is
yeah,
screaming at Texas people, to join USARK? They're
sure,
already there. You know,
sure.
um, and also, I looked at some of the numbers today, and like PETA gets 5 million, $5 million a year budget.
I saw that too.
The
I
other
saw
ones
some of
get
that
three
shit.
million, and USARK did what, 500 grand last year, or
Yeah, I thought it
actually
was
even
less
less.
than that. Yeah, I thought it
Yeah,
was less than
so
that.
it's like we're not gonna, I mean, how much could really get done with only 300 grand a year going to USARK? I mean, Phil is doing this amazing job with what little he has. But
Yeah,
imagine if we even touched, a quarter of what the other guys had. So
yeah.
what do you think is the overall solution to that?
Well, this whole thing, this is classic political showmanship.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this whole amendment to the Lacey Act, was coattailed onto the America Competes Act, which I think on the surface is probably a great piece of legislation, right? It's bring manufacturing, bring drug manufacturing, chick manufacturing, bring all that shit back in, into the United States so we don't get burned like we're getting burned now with supply chain issues and COVID and all that shit. Great. Sounds awesome. Well, now these politicians who have the lobbyists, funding them or say, oh, well, while you're at it, since this is going to pass,
yeah.
everybody's for this, put the Lacey amendment in there. Just tag it right along with let's study how many shits grandma takes a week and all this other stuff that has, no business being in this America Competes Act. So, I mean, I don't know how you fight that. I really, really don't, because these lobbyist pockets are deeper than USARK will ever have. If you're just going to be straightforward about it.
Right, right. I know. So that kind of, you, you know, really puts a damper on, when you see just the dollar amounts, it really is discouraging, because you're like, what the fuck are we going to do with this piddly shit amount of money that we have? And the
Well,
fact that 70% of people uncheck the donate a dollar to USARK box
when
on
you
Ship Your Reptiles.
when they ship, yeah, isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
Um, the
Um,
this bill is not the enemy. We're the enemy. I mean, we're not even doing the simplest, dumbest thing that you could do, to give some money, to the cause. I think, but it is discouraging. But at the same time, you got to hold out hope, right? Because they're not,
well, you asked me what the solution is, and the solution is individual members. The voice of one is nothing, but the voice of thousands or tens of thousands does count, and it can override lobbyist money. And all these online petitions that you see, click here and sign this,
Mm.
and all the letters that you write and the phone calls that are made, if they're done in numbers and in mass numbers, they can make a difference. I really believe that. I've seen it happen with other legislation.
Mm. Well, I definitely think that it can happen, between with everybody kind of getting together. With the fish people, the reptile people, the invert people. If everybody's getting together, I think it could happen. But the thing is that's a very tightrope type thing to walk, because I mean, you've seen the people in all these industries. Like if you just see a portion of the reptile industry, you have to assume that mentality is in the fish industry. It is in the tarantula industry. It is in the,
Yeah.
um,
I
so
think
so
I think I think the bird people are probably smarter than us
you think so? Okay.
across the board.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not
but
not the
that's
fish
not
people though.
that's not saying much. And no, the fish people probably the opposite.
Right. Great. A dumber group than the reptile people. Oh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. I really thought we were the bottom, but okay. So overall, I think that this is a couple of weeks away from even being brought um to the Senate. I saw an interview with Ryan and Phil last night that, this is a week away, and then they said if any, or 4 weeks away, then if anything gets
Yeah.
determined, it'll be about a year. But it's going to be a fuck of a year for USARC to be having their feet to the fire all the time like this.
It
So
is. It is. And I just hope we can use that as motivation to continue, to support, the membership and the auctions and all that kind of stuff. Now should be the time, man. You really put your cards on the table.
right, and we honestly we shouldn't have to promote becoming a member of USARC. It should just be like when you buy a bearded dragon, you should join USARC. I mean, if you
Yeah.
have one veiled chameleon in your fucking house, it's fucking $40, I think, for the lowest tier, and just fucking step up and join. So everybody, take the time, go to USARC .org, and at the very minimum, take the 5 minutes that it takes to send a letter in, or an email in to your 2
5 minutes.
senators or 1
5
senator.
minutes. That's all it takes. 5
Yeah.
minutes.
So I definitely think that that's going to be a giant thing, over the course of the next year or so. But the problem also is that I've noticed that we just tend to do this in spurts. Like
Yeah.
like we're very reactive and not proactive.
I agree.
So there's only like when shit's gonna hit the fan, everybody's like, oh, you got to join USARC, you got to, and then 3 months later, you don't even hear about it.
I,
So
I,
um,
I, I agree. I mean, I agree.
it's but what are you gonna do? It's like you either step up or support, or you don't support. And I don't agree with the bullying, but I do agree with things like the MorphMarket badges. And even I think JT said it, down there in Texas. If you're on MorphMarket and somebody's not a member of USARC, just don't buy the fucking snake. It's that easy.
I,
Especially with ball python people, where there's always another snake.
yeah.
Like very rarely are you buying a one of a kind, ball
And, and
python
and
on
if you
MorphMarket.
are, I promise that breeder's a member of USARK.
Already, right,
Right.
exactly. So anyway, um, the green tree thing, you're kind of like a big shot name in the green tree thing as well as the ball python thing, right? So would you say that those are your two biggest?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't even say that I'm a big shot name in the ball python community. I don't have any groundbreaking projects going on in the facility here.
Oh,
Um,
what?
I mean, I produce the stuff that I like. I listened to your podcast with Will Banks,
Mhm.
and I'm kind of like a mini Will Banks, like a mini Will Banks, as far as
Okay.
like what I produce ball python wise. And I can't believe he said that he produced 3,000 clutches of ball pythons.
Yeah.
I had to literally I stopped it and I rewind it for like 5 seconds so I could hear him say that again. 3,000 clutches of ball pythons. But I produce a lot of stuff very similar to him, a lot of entry level stuff.
Mm.
The most what I produced most ball python wise last year was blue eyed Lucy's. I think I
Okay.
produced 50 blue eyed Lucy's, and I think I have 5 left. They're that pieds, clowns, entry
Right.
level stuff.
Right.
That's my ball python gig.
So
And I
paycheck snakes basically.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Entry level. People want to get into a double het project. but they want to make their own hets. They can't just go in and drop, 10 grand on a breeding project of double hets or whatever. And
Right.
so they buy pieds for me, and they buy clowns for me, and they buy candy stuff for me, and
And just do the slow build, basically, right?
yeah.
So, okay. And then the green tree stuff, then you do have some high end stuff there, right?
It's interesting because the green tree stuff, I'm kind of like the complete opposite spectrum, where I just work with designer stuff and the stuff that's just super super rare. And I was just, to be honest, I was fortunate to kind of get into that stuff without having to outlay the tens and tens of thousands of dollars that people are having to do now to try to get into those projects. I was doing it 15 years ago, and the prices weren't so insane, and I got lucky on some pairings and animal production, and you know how that stuff can snowball, and it did for me. So
Yeah, no, I know. And green trees are notoriously difficult. Like you could move the fucking cage, and the next day the thing's dead, right? It's like it's
well,
fucking just a weird snake.
what I tell people all the time, and when I talk about green trees, I'm talking about captive bred stuff, because they are literally night and day from imports or farm babies. So I work exclusively with captive bred animals, and they are as easy to take care of as a ball python.
Really?
No doubt about it. Oh, absolutely. Probably
Okay.
easier if you
You're
put
the
it in.
first person I've ever heard that said that.
It's true. I mean, obviously, I would know, right? I've been doing both of them for a decade plus. So you get a U.S. captive bred green tree from the right person and put it in the right box, and it's as easy to take care of as a ball python. You just need a little more room. When they get bigger, like you can't have just 1,000 racks of CB70s
Right.
full of green trees. They
Right.
need a little bit bigger caging wise when they're adults. And what I'm talking about applies only to keeping these things. Breeding them and establishing babies, totally different.
Okay, that's what I was gonna bring up. I mean, I wouldn't call easy, cutting Pinky Mice's heads off and just trying to get the fucking snake to eat that. I never had to do that with a ball python.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's totally different. But I'm just talking about keeping these things, and that's probably the two most, I think, misperceived conceptions about green tree pythons is that they're super hard to keep, they're super fragile, because they're not fragile at all, and and the other thing is their temperament. Everybody thinks that these things want to just come out of the cage, super defensive, super aggressive. And that is certainly true with imported BX or a lot of imported green trees. But I've got roughly 30 adult green trees. Every single one of them I can pick up and handle like I would a ball python.
Really?
Every one.
And what are you keeping them in right now?
Like an adult?
Yeah, what do you keep an adult in?
So like a typical adult, full size male, like a 2x2x2 cube.
Okay. Very nice.
Nothing massive. You can keep females in that too. I'll breed in a 3x2x2 cage.
Okay.
With something a little bit bigger if I'm going to breed.
And then the as far as the breeding part goes, the breeding part is a little bit more difficult than ball pythons, right?
It's the breeding is a little bit more difficult. They usually need to be a little bit older. Like I'll breed my females when they're 5, not 2 or 3. I'll usually wait till they're 5. You can get away with it when they're 4, but I think it's worth less risk to get the female to be 5. Right. Males are kind of like male balls. Some of them breed at 3, some of them breed at 4, some of them, they've got to be 5 years old before they'll breed.
Okay. Well, that's not a bad thing. And then the Borneos, that's totally different, right? I mean, your snake room got to be. I mean, the temperatures just have to be up and down all over the place, right?
No, man, I'm doing all of this in the same temperatures in the same room.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Very, very subtle things like the green trees. They're their heat goes completely off at night. So not just a night drop, but they'll go completely off. And so I keep my ambient temperature about 75 at night, and they don't have any supplemental heat at night. During the day, they get a hot spot of about 82, and that's it.
That's it, huh? Okay.
That's it. A lot of people keep green trees just ambient 80, just straight 80. You know, they don't no supplemental heat. But the Borneos are kind of the same way. I keep Borneos in the same rack as my ball pythons. I just keep them on the lower levels of the shelf where it's a little bit cooler.
Right.
But I mean, I breed, I breed all these carpets, rough scale pythons, Borneos, balls, green trees. Breed them all in the same room, same facility.
Okay. And what's your show circuit like? Do you prefer shows or do you prefer MorphMarket?
I'm kind of a mix of everything. Just the green trees, the shows are, and even, to be honest, for my stuff, MorphMarket or shows, it's a mood issue because the stuff that I produce is sold before it would even get anywhere close to being taken to a show or posted. But the ball python.
That's a big fucking drop my balls in your mouth statement.
Well,
right?
If I could produce more than 1 or 2 clutches a year, it would be. But these things aren't ball pythons. I can't crank out, 100 clutches a year.
Right. Okay.
So I mean, it's the good and the bad. It keeps the value up. It keeps the demand up. So that's nice. The ball python stuff, man, I fucking, shuff it at small shows. I'm at the small herp shows. I'm going to fucking Shawnee, Oklahoma. I'm going to Longview, Texas. I'm going to Amarillo, Texas, because that's where $300, $400, $500, $600 snakes sell. That's my ball python stuff.
Okay. And what do you think best and worst thing about the business is?
Oh, man. The worst thing, and I think it's getting a lot better. I used to be really kind of, I wasn't real impressed with the ball python community because I thought that there was a lot of lack of transparency in projects, good projects and bad projects.
Yeah.
And I was never used to that being in the carpet community and being in the green tree community. People typically didn't work that way. But I think that's becoming better from what I can tell. I mean, you got people that are real stewards to the ball python community and industry now. And when I was first in it, it wasn't like that. I mean, the big boys from, years past, as much as they gave to the hobby, I think certainly not all of them, but some of them, I just wasn't real impressed with the way that they did business and handled stuff. So, but I think has gotten a lot better.
I think it's so much better now.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were into it, you had the guys that they'd stab their mother in the back to make $50 more, whereas I can't see Miguel or Brittany or Justin, doing that these days.
No, it's almost the opposite. It's almost like, the especially the higher end people. Of course, there's douchebags all throughout the community, but the really high end people, they go the opposite. They bend over backwards to not do stuff like that.
Right. No, I agree with you. And what's the best thing?
Fucking making snake money, dude. I mean, the only thing better than snake money is gambling money.
You're talking my language now. So,
I mean, you talk about the best money out there. Number one is gambling money. Number two is snake money.
That's very true. Now, it's so nice to hear somebody be like, "Oh, the people. The best thing about it is the people. They, we help each other all the time." Shut the fuck up. No, you don't. I've seen, I mean, there are many Texas people. I tell the story all the time. Heidi Dunlap did more for me when I went down to Texas than anybody else. JT did more for me, so that's true to a point. But you go outside Texas into like fucking Arkansas and fucking the Northeast shady motherfuckers that would fucking kill you for a fucking a head puzzle. You know, like
Possible head puzzle.
a possible head puzzle, right? You know, when I hear that answer, like the people are the greatest. Shut the fuck up. No, they're not.
Well,
The
I'm glad I didn't disappoint with my answer.
Yeah, not at all. I'd rather hear that you're a gambling degenerate any day of the week than you being like a bullshitter where like people are so amazing. People, the ball python people suck, okay? And they're like literally the worst people on the planet.
You're cracking me
So
up, man.
it's it just is what it is. And it's just you know, it's mainly the people that you know, like the groups on Facebook. Like those are just
But
the fucking worst.
but I
You
can't
know.
walk away. I can't walk away from them.
Yeah, I know.
So many people say I'm leaving this group. You know,
Oh
I've had
yeah.
enough. I mean, why would you want to do that? It's like some of the best entertainment on social media.
Yeah, I think that occasionally, but then when I see like groups like that FBI feedback and you know, when they're like has anybody in this group ever heard of Chris Nettles from Sea Serpents? You're like, dude, are you an idiot, you fucking moron? And then there was one like, did anybody ever hear of Mike Wilbanks? And you're like, dude, like all you have to do is Google
This
ball
thing called
pythons.
Google, right?
Right.
It's new.
It's the laziness, you know, and you know me, the under 30 white women crowd is just the worst too. It's like fucking they think they know everything. And then there's those fucking morons that think that the snakes have feelings, right? So they're looking at the snake and they're like, oh, Bobby is very happy today. How the fuck can you tell that Bobby's very happy today?
Is that
You know
the ones
what?
they put a little hat on it? Like
Oh,
they put a little
that's
string hat on it?
I hate that shit. That shit drives me fucking nuts, man. When you dress up any animal, you know, it's like my sister will dress up a dog, and I'm like, that dog is being made fun of now by all the other dogs outside. But like, you know, they're calling him a fucking fag and a homo. You know, like that's what these snake people that dress up their animals. I just can't fucking stand them.
You know another pet peeve of mine?
What's that?
When they post, I just got this genetic stripe baby in. I think it has something else. I think it has another gene that the breeder, you know, obviously missed.
Right.
You know,
right.
Can you tell me what else is in this?
Right. Well, just bought a pinstripe, but it looks a little bit different. Looks a little bit different. Does anybody think it looks different? No, you moron. It looks like a $30 fucking pinstripe. All right. So just shut the fuck up.
Love it, man.
People are just horrible. Please excuse this brief interruption for a word from one of our sponsors. Boom. It's the first video ad in Snakes in the Fatman history. Look at it. Look at it. That right there is the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet. Look at this right here. This is also the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet, but it's in a bag. Now this right here is the best coconut chip on the fucking planet. However, it's in a bigger bag. Brick, small bag, bigger bag, whatever. Reptichip is hands down the best substrate for your reptiles. It's the only substrate I actually use here at the Fat Cave. Why? Because it's the best coconut substrate on the fucking planet and I've been using it for years. And JT Tomlinson, one of my very best good friends, is the president of the company. Want to know something else that JT started? The Reptilution Apparel Company that gives 100% of the profits it receives back to the reptile community. There's always people and organizations in this hobby in need of some kind of help, and Reptilution is being proactive in giving to USARK, Herb's Family Fund, anybody in the community that experienced some kind of tragedy. JT, Reptichip, and Reptilution is there for them. You see anybody else being proactive like this? Let me answer that for you. No, you don't. Head on over to reptichip.com and pick up a bag, a block, a brick, A box even. They're doing boxes. Boxes of Reptichip now. Pick up a Reptilution shirt if you're feeling sexy. A lot of fun stuff. They got it all there. Redline Science, tools, shit scrapers. They got everything. It's a one-stop shop, man. You can buy your reptile shit and clothes. Same place. Again, go buy a brick, a bag, box, a shirt, whatever. Just get on it. Reptichip.com. You know, they're the people too that spend $100, think they're going to make, 20,000. And
if there's any consolation to you, there are people like that in the green tree community as well.
oh, really? I wouldn't have expected that much though.
Oh, let me give you the perfect example. So somebody will post on one of, say the largest Facebook green tree group out there. They will post this picture of this setup. I just got my first green tree, and of course it's from an expo, which tells you that it's got about a 50% chance of living under the best circumstances. And they put it in this, vertical 6 foot tall, exoterra with a waterfall and goldfish at the bottom and all these exotic plants. And they want to know why it won't perch and why it won't eat, And it's like
it's Caesar's. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, that's right. Like being at Caesar's Palace. It's like if you would have just come into the group a month ago and lurked for a month and just watched some posts of how people set these animals up and take care of them, maybe that animal would have a 10% chance of living. I can't tell you how many times I can't watch it. I just cannot watch it.
Oh yeah. Well, what's worse is the turtle groups too. Like the turtle groups.
I have no knowledge of the turtle groups. Thank God.
Yeah, no, you look at one and you're like, oh yeah, he got that from a disposable turtle breeder. It's like take it home 10 days later it dies. It's just like, yeah, you're gonna get a new turtle in 20 days because you don't learn your lesson. So
just keep going back to the same expo and buying the same turtle.
Same guy. Yeah, runs through a whole family of turtles. Yeah, I killed every one of these things in here. Yeah, they're just the worst. And me and Warren Booth were talking about this, where it's like a spider pin pastel, and the people are calling it a powerhouse. They're like, just picked up this powerhouse. Like that is not a powerhouse in 2005. Okay, it's certainly not a powerhouse now. You fucking idiot. And it's all the people that you never hear of, right? It's like, like I've been doing this for a year, so fucking you should listen to me. It's like all the podcasts that I bitch about that had a ball python, kept it alive for 3 months, decided to let the world know that you're an expert at raising ball pythons. And you're just like looking at this like, fuck, what the fuck are you even talking about? And they're bringing on another guy that owned a ball python for 2 months, and they're talking to each other for 3 hours on a live on fucking StreamYard, and you have to fucking it's just
if you could
so bad.
If you could send me the link to that show, I'd really enjoy watching it.
Oh, I'll totally, yeah, dude. I have like 11 off the top of my head, but like I could wake up from a drunk stupor and still give you 7. Okay, so fucking, it's very easy to find these people. So those are some of the worst things. But let's talk about this gambling addiction of yours. There's no casinos in Texas, right?
There are no casinos in Texas, but the Oklahoma border is less than an hour away.
Oh, okay. All right.
But having said that, I rarely go there because I mean, if you're familiar with the Oklahoma, they're all Indian, run.
Right.
So they really put it to you hard on the ante. And I've got a hard enough time winning money, just from a regular casino. I don't need to be putting up a $2 more every time I roll the dice,
Yeah, no, I hear you. My old thing is in 2006, I hit for like 200 grand, right? And
On what?
on slots, okay?
Holy shit!
And it wasn't 200 grand at once. It was like 50 grand here, 80 grand here, 40 grand there. And I was just on this roll to where I was like, whenever I needed money, I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the casino. Are you kidding me? This is
It's
this
so
is the thing
easy,
to
right?
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it got so bad that, like, let's say I wanted to buy a guitar, right? I would say I'm only gonna use gambling money. And let's say the guitar costs 13 grand. So I would go to the casino with like 2 grand, right? And I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna get up to 13 grand. I'm gonna go out and buy the guitar, right? I would run that shit up to 12,990. And then if I started losing, I would play it all the way down to nothing, not even the 2 grand, you know.
Yeah, all the way
So
down.
all,
Yep.
all the way down, just in case, because that next big spin is just really like a pull away when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
But I've lost so much more since then. but that's what started my addiction. It was just like this is like
See,
the worst.
my problem was I've never played the slots, or I've never enjoyed playing that. But you get me on a football game or like a
Mm,
basketball game or something,
right,
and I'm
right,
like, how can I lose? Right? I get to
right,
pick.
right,
I mean, shit, I get to pick. You
right.
know,
1 out of 2.
and
That's good
and
odds.
I'm telling you, I would just be better if I would just pick and then take the opposite, and
Right,
I'd be rich right now
right.
if I employed that gambling technique.
Yeah, that's well, the horse racing that I used to go to, I was like, there's only 7 horses. Let's just bet on every fucking horse, right? Yeah, that never works. Like fucking, it's
I had an uncle like you.
yeah,
His name was Uncle Tom.
yeah,
After every race, he'd come up and he'd go, "I fucking got the winner." It was the gray. I told you that it was going to win. Well, sure enough, he'd bet on 5 of the 6 horses in the race. Like,
so
come on, Uncle Tom.
odds are one of them was going to win.
Yeah, you won, but you just lost $60.
Yeah, of course. That's the way I play. Yeah, like I take that ride of shame home way too many times. Like, and the problem is that when I left for California, there was no casino close to New York, right? I mean, you had to
Okay.
go down to Atlantic City, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In California, I had an Indian casino fucking 20 minutes from my house, right? Um, and then I was in Laughlin, Nevada when I hit my first big win. And then I fly home 12 years later, and there's a casino 10 minutes from my house now. And I was like, this is going to be a problem,
This is
right?
going to be a part.
And sure enough, it was. Okay, for a long time, all right. And it was getting to the point where I would go to the casino at 11 in the morning, like with the old people, and
Yeah.
just fucking play with the old people. And like
Yeah.
I'd be talking to World War II vets, they're telling me how many people they killed, and while we're playing Wheel of Fortune, like $10 Wheel of Fortunes, So it's just it's a horrible, horrible way to live your life. But
Well, it sounds like we have a lot in common. The bad part about me is I was a terrible gambler,
mm,
terrible sports handicapper, picker of that's what I like. I like to watch football and put money on it. Terrible at it. The good news is that betting relatively small amounts of money kept my interest, in those games. So when I lost, it wasn't like, my wife kicked me out of the house and now I got to go
right,
live, you know, down with Uncle Jojo and sleep on the couch and
right.
that kind of shit. So that was
But also
that.
at the same time, is your wife a doctor too?
No, she's an elementary school counselor.
She, el- a school teacher, and then she's going to tell the doctor what to do. Get the fuck out of here! You must be
Are you
out of your
kidding?
mind.
She's been doing that since I was 15 years old. What are you talking about?
That is crazy. I'd be like, listen, honey, you know where the bread is buttered, all right? If I want to go gamble,
Dude,
I'm going to
that's
gamble
not,
as much as I want.
that's not the way it is. Not the way it is in my house, man.
Please,
Never been that way.
that's why I'm divorced. So it's not the way it's in my house either. So I'm just talking shit like fucking. But like, if, if my girlfriend or wife ever told me to stop gambling, I would just be like, "Yo, okay, all right, no problem." You know.
And you'd head right down to the casino.
Well, I would like if we got into a fight after that. Like I remember going to the casino. Like my wife pissed me off so bad, I just went to the fucking casino. And
I've placed some anger bets as well.
oh yeah, it's the worst time to play because you know
Absolutely terrible.
you will never win, right?
It's like God. It's like God is watching the whole thing happen. And,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm going to put 1,000. No, I'm going to put 5,000.
Right. That's the way it goes. The only time in my life that I've ever talked to my dead grandmother was when I was at the casino down to about $80. I'm like, come on, Graham, please. I mean, come on, you could do this, right? You're in heaven, right? You could touch this fucking machine. Fucking help me out.
That's fucking sad, man.
Yeah,
that's
no,
desperate
it
times.
Is. It's a a degenerate gambler. That's the life, of a degenerate gambler.
I'm glad you can look back and laugh at it now.
Well, now
I
just drive past the casino and I'm like, yeah, all right, fuck it. But now, basically what I did was I just replaced it with another addiction.
Snakes.
No, fuck snakes. Snakes? What are you, out of your mind? Right? Like I'll just do tech stuff. Like I'll buy, the best cameras, the best computers. I mean, you can't really tell from my videos, but fuck it. It's, I'll just do things like that. And I have 4 focus cube cages right in the next room, but it's too cold to ship anything. So they're empty. So.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, man. Shit. I love those. I love those cubes. I love Steven and Ashley.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
They're a sponsor. Yeah, they're one of your sponsors, right?
Yeah. They just came on this year. Well, like I was so excited to get them on because I saw those cages about a year ago, and of course they weren't anything like what they are today. Like if you look at some of his shit, from Instagram, it's incredible. I mean, they weren't making cages like this when I was collecting, animals.
I have their prototype 2x2x2 cubes in my snake room.
Oh, I got 2 of those.
Literally, like their first line production. He made them. We went over some tweaks, and so yeah. I mean, I've got literally have their first run stuff in my room. It's amazing to see what that compared to like what they're cranking out now.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I got 2 2x2s and 2 3x2s, and I'm just like, these are the nicest cages that I've ever fucking owned, man.
They're like they're furniture, they're like furniture.
Yeah.
And if you visit my facility, you would know that I'm not a furniture guy. Like I think what I have is a nice facility, but I'm a utility guy. Mm-hmm. So as long as it's functional,
right.
I'm not the guy that has to have, every single cage has to be Freedom Breeder or Animal Plastics or Focus or whatever. I got a hodgepodge of everything. As long as it's functional, that's really what I care about the most.
Yeah. See, when we had the shop, if one rack was a different height, I would flip. I'm like, now we got to make a whole row of those racks because now we got to go out and buy 3 of those. Okay.
Yeah, see,
well, ARS is, an inch and a half shorter than Freedom Breeder. Need a whole row of ARSs now. But we can't just have one. So
there's a lot of people like you, obviously in the industry.
Yeah, ARS lives on people like me, or for people like me. And so does Chris at Sea Serpents. Like we had before we had any metal racks, and we got just a wall of Sea Serpents like at my house, and I was like, I got 18 Sea Serpent racks here. I'm like, this is a little excessive, guys, don't you think? I'm like, maybe we should consider getting a place and not having 200 snakes in my 1-bedroom apartment. And that's when we finally decided,
it was time.
Yeah, it's time. But
that sounds cozy. That sounds cozy, man.
It is not. Okay. All right. It is not. I was sleeping in my dining room. Okay. So it was not cool, man. but at the same time, it was still fun. I mean, it was fun
Yeah.
when we were getting into it, and I like to see people having fun at it now, but I just don't really see people um like enjoying it as much. Like now, it's definitely. I don't think that people are into ball pythons because they love a ball python. I think I mean if you have ball pythons, you're trying to make money at it.
Chris, but you know as well as I do, they've been saying that the reptile community has been saying that about ball python guys since when we first got in it. That's
Oh
why
yeah.
we had always been kind of the bastards of the reptile industry because all the ball python guys were in it for the money. And in fact, I would get more than just occasional ribbing from my green tree and carpet people about being a ball python guy. So in fact, I started referring to all my stuff as royals. I didn't say I kept ball python. I kept green trees, carpet pythons, and royals.
Right. Yeah.
You
See
know,
that's nuts. We were totally in it for the money. Um, I mean, I ain't even gonna hide it. The only thing that made me feel better about it is I was talking to Ozzy one day, and Ozzy was like, "What's wrong with being in it for the money, man? It's like fucking this is good money."
yeah.
And then once we kind of adopted that attitude a little bit more, it was definitely more of an easy thing. But honestly, having that many, like how many ball pythons do you have in your house right now or in your facility?
I mean, probably breeder females 100, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, okay.
the appropriate males to go with that. I've
Yeah,
got. Go ahead.
no, we had six, and 600 is a lot when you got a regular job and you have to
I
come home, and go to the facility every night and fucking do. I mean, it just like there is. I tell people this all the time. There's a world of difference between taking a picture of an animal because you want to take a picture of it, and taking a picture of an animal because you have to take a picture of it because you got to rush that thing onto MorphMarket and get rid of it. So.
don't.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're talking about. When I was in the transition between my anesthesia practice and deciding I wanted to do this full time, I had to quote ramp up a little bit, as far as animals that I kept, animals that I bred, and babies I produced. And that was 2 or 3 years of just brutalness.
mm,
Working. I worked 80 hours a week, as a physician, and then probably 30 hours a week, 20 or 30 hours a week, trying to build up this snake business.
right, right.
So, and it's tough, and it
Yeah,
turns
no.
into work.
Oh, without a doubt. Every baby you have adds to your workload.
Yeah,
And
hell
I
yeah.
don't care if it's, 10 seconds of pulling a tub out and
No,
checking it. Like imagine Wilbanks, like 10 seconds a
can't,
tub at Wilbanks facility.
cannot even
You can't even
imagine.
imagine the amount of time.
Have you
So
have you been there?
no, I haven't been there yet.
I haven't either, but I want to go.
Yeah, I would definitely like to go see him. I want to go to Oklahoma because I want to hang out with Warren also.
Yeah,
And Herps has, the couple of Oklahoma
yeah.
shows as well.
I've
Um,
been. I've been to Oklahoma shows. They have
so
twice a year.
and there's gambling in Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I'll
that
meet you
may
there.
be a yes. Chris may be stopping at an Oklahoma Herp show this year, uh, in addition to the Conroe. Um, all right, so now give me something that Bill does when it's not. Give me something that Bill likes doing that has nothing to do with snakes.
So, my really only hobby, other than the snakes now, is I'm a competitive sporting clay shooter.
Oh no shit. Okay.
You know what that is? You know what
Yeah.
sporting
Yeah.
clays are? Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, I shoot a couple times a week, practice a couple times a week, and then shoot competitively in tournaments.
No shit. Okay. I did that when I was living in Colorado. I mean not competitively.
Yeah,
Um
but you know what it is? It's
yeah.
it's like it's like skeet. It's clay shooting for
Right.
people that
Right.
don't know. Yeah.
I remember doing it, and I remember never having shot a gun in my life before. I hit like three. of the pigeons, right?
Out of 100, yeah.
Well, no, out of
No.
like 10 or 15. But I didn't realize that the shotgun actually had a spread to it when it came out. Well,
Did you
like
think it was a bullet?
I thought it was a bullet, and I was just nailing these things, right? And I was like, motherfucker, I could be a fucking, I could be Black Ops, man. Like, fucking look at me. 3 out of 10, that's fucking killer. And then my girlfriend was like, the gun actually has a spread to it, and I'm like,
there's
damn it.
like 60 BBs in that bullet, right?
Yeah, no, I did not know that at the time. I'm one of the few people from the Bronx that didn't know how to shoot a gun, right? So it was, I didn't even know that about shotguns. I just thought it's a bullet, it's just a big bullet, So
I like guns. I'm not a gun nut. I mean, I have lots of different kinds of guns, but my passion is shooting shotguns at things that are flying.
right, okay,
Yeah.
So do you ever just hunt ducks and watch them explode just for the fun of it? Like not even eat it, just like I'm just gonna go explode an animal today.
I bird hunt, but that's not my thing. Right? I bird hunt maybe once or twice a year, but
Okay.
my thing is to shoot these competitive tournaments.
Mm. Well, okay, so yeah, see, you're in Texas, so of course you got guns. I mean, it's almost like it's such a dumb question to ask.
I mean, I think the average adult in Texas, it's literally average. If you just average all adults and all guns, it's like 10 guns per adult person in the
Right,
States.
right. Yeah, your neighbor probably owns a tiger, right?
No, that's Oklahoma.
Oh, is it Oklahoma? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
We're not.
That's where Tiger King was, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I could own a tiger, but
right,
of
course you could. Right?
I just don't.
Yeah, you don't want your neighbor to out tiger you. You better go get 2 tigers.
I'll fucking shoot that thing. That's why I got guns.
Fucking A, Jesus Christ. You fucking Texas people are just fucked in the head, man. But but you're definitely fun to be around,
I agree.
All right, Bill. So tell people how they could get in touch with you.
The 2 big social media, Facebook, I'm Bill Stegall. Instagram, I'm Phoenix.reptiles. I just opened up a TikTok account.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
I like the green ones the best.
Right.
But so hopefully here in the future, I'll be putting some TikTok stuff up.
That's yeah, I tried to do that. I got 1 video up, and
I got
in January.
I got a young kid here that's supposed to be helping me, taking on the reins and posting up some stuff. It's so over my head. I don't understand it at all. But anyway, Facebook and Instagram.
It's funny with TikTok. I was on it when I first started, and I liked one chick that was showing off tits, and now every TikTok is some chick with giant boobs, fucking on it. I'm like, this app is brilliant.
It's like my Instagram reel. For whatever reason, whenever I hit reels on Instagram, that's all my Instagram reels are. Chicks with big bouncing boobs. I don't know how I got there.
Oh, I know how I got there, but it's just.
I got my boy Jason Bigler in the room. He came down for the NARBC, which
fucking Bigler's a fucking cunt. All right,
Bigler, come over and say hey. he just called you a cunt. He probably did.
Yeah. What's up, Bigler? Right. What's going on? I knew you were staying there.
I can't see your ugly mug. There's a mic in the way.
Good. Right? Holy shit. Oh my God. Yeah. So Bigler got to build you one of those 1,000 ball python hatchling racks that he built for Josh Jackie. Right?
1,000. It was 1,000 in that baby rack for Josh Jackie. Yeah, he said, yeah, about 1,000.
Yeah, no, it was a lot. I was like, fucking Josh, man. It's like, how many fucking babies are you gonna have? So,
I don't need
right. Well, Bill, listen, brother, thank you so much for fucking hanging, man. I appreciate it, and I'm not gonna take points away from you for having Bigler at the house. So,
I appreciate it.
All good. But no, definitely, you're a fucking rock star, man, and thank you for coming on. And I'll let you know when this is coming out.
Thanks, Chris. I've been looking forward to doing the show, man. It's great spending some time with you.
Me too, brother. Thank you very much, man.
All right.
All right, bye. Here at Snakes and a Fat Man, we're huge supporters of diversity. We're proving that point here by having our first ever boa breeder as a sponsor on the show. Boa Affliction has been around since 2010, and when they saw the VPI T-positive gene, they immediately shifted their focus and decided to make not just visually stunning albino boas, but they quickly realized that the T-positive snows and sunglows really stood apart from the T-negative albinos that were available at the time. This original VPI gene has maintained its place in the market for the last 10 years and shows no sign of slowing down. Here's the thing. When you invest into your 401k, a 401k for all you ball python people is a fund that you invest in for your retirement. But when you invest in a 401k, you just don't invest in Walmart. You invest in Amazon, Verizon, Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. That's all we're trying to say here. 100% of your collection doesn't have to be ball pythons. Throw a few boas in there and be part of a different type of cool crowd. And when you do that, invest with Kenny over at Boa Affliction. Great, no bullshit guy with an awesome website. And how in the fuck am I gonna say no to a guy who uses this chick in his promo picture? Can't do it. Can't do it. I tried everything. Go check out Kenny today at bioactive.com. Sticking with my supporting of diversity, I actually hired a millennial to handle all my social media, but I had to fire him because he didn't show up for work. So I'm just going to leave this picture up here for a little while longer. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around this long. We got a couple of new Patreon members this month, so I really want to thank the Snakes and the Fat Man Patreon family, because they're the ones that are literally making this No More Balls tour a reality. And all of you Patreon people are going to get a little special surprise once this tour is over. So for anyone new, if you're in a position to help the channel out, join us at patreon.com/snakesandthefatman, where you get cool extra stuff. You get exclusive videos, you get behind the scenes stuff of things that we do here at the Fat Cave. So anyway, I think it's worth it, and you could join up for as little as $5 a month. I mean, fucking help a brother out. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut, man. We drop podcasts on the 1st and the 15th of every month, and we're continuing our fucking awesome little run of open Zoom calls for reptile keepers every 2 weeks. I mean, I don't think we've missed one since January. So I hope to see you guys there. The next one is on April 10th. They're always free to take part in and attend. So listen, you become an instant member of the Cool Guy Club if you just join one call. Our new Leveling Up video is out on YouTube currently, where I sit down with Tom, Heidi, and Brian. They're a bunch of new podcasters that I really just think that you guys should know about. So check that out when you can. I just want to thank you guys for coming back and actually staying for each episode. Fucking, I appreciate it more than you guys know. So take it easy. Love ya, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Everyone talks their own shit about what kind of racks you should buy. Metal racks are great, but everyone doesn't want a goddamn 7-foot high, 6-foot wide, 2,000-pound metal rack in their fucking house. That's a 2-refrigerator footprint, man. 2 fucking refrigerators. Sea Serpents makes insane quality racks that could fit anywhere. They're stackable PVC racks that are living room friendly, and they're shipped fully assembled with heat tape already installed. Just plug it into a thermostat and you're ready to go. When we had the shop, we had over 20 Sea Serpent racks there before they ever became a sponsor of Snakes and the Fat Man. I don't breed much anymore these days, but I still have a few racks here in my house, and you could be goddamn sure that they're Sea Serpents. Oh, and they also make hot box incubators. Probably the best reptile incubators made in America. At the height of our breeding business, we had 4 4-foot hotbox incubators. And again, I still have a small hotbox incubator here in case anything I keep actually does breed. Go to seaserpents.com and check out their incredible selection of PVC racks and tell Chris Nettles that the Fat Man sent you.